Welcome to Big Daddy Storytime. We're reading Walt Disney's My Side of the Story from Peter Pan. A Codfish on a Hook. Later that day, Wendy and I were visiting the mermaids in the lagoon when suddenly a dark shadow slid over the water. I grabbed Wendy, jumped behind a tall rock, and peeped around it. I saw Captain Hook and his first mate, Smee, rowing their dinghy. The Indian princess Tiger Lily was with them, and it looked like her hands and her feet had been tied up. I could tell that scoundrel Hook was up to no good. He he pretends to be a real gentleman in his fancy coat and feathered hat, but beneath all those ruffles and frills is the coldest hearted villain you'll ever meet. You tell me the hiding place of Peter Pan and I shall set you free, he snarled at Tiger Lily, putting his face right up to hers. And if she didn't tell him, he said he'd leave her on Skull Rock to drown. Tiger Lily didn't utter a word, but the look she gave Hook said, "You look like a codfish and you smell like one too." It was up to me to save her. "Stay here, Wendy," I said, "and watch the fun." I crept behind a big rock, then using my hat to disguise my voice, I hollered, "Montiona, great spirit of mighty sea water, speaks, beware, Captain Hook, beware." My voice echoed off the rocks, sounding like spooky. If that didn't set Hook and Smee quaking in their boots, I didn't know what would. When Hook got out of the boat to take a look around, I decided to have a bit more fun. "Mr. Smee!" I hollered through my hat, making my voice sound just like Hook's. It's quite a clever little trick I learned. "Release the princess and take her back to her people." "Aye, aye, sir," said Smee, and he started to do it. Of course, when Hook came back and saw him, he was fit. He was he was not happy. "Put her back, you blotter-head idiot," he hollered. It was a splendid game. Just as soon as Hook was gone, I showed in Hook's voice again. "For the last time, Smee, take the princess back to her people, and when you return to the ship, I'll tell the crew to help themselves to my best rum." Just then Wendy snickered. "Peter!" I leapt into the air, and saw Hook standing behind me, about to skewer me with his hook. Luckily, he only caught my hat. "Thank you, Captain," I said, taking it back. I drew my dagger and we began to duel. Ch-ch-ch-ch-ch. Hook is the worst swordsman you ever saw. I swear he couldn't hit the side of a barn 2 feet in front of him. We'd hardly been fighting for a minute when that old pirate got so turned around he stepped right off the rock. Ah! He caught himself by his hook just before he fell into the water. "Well, well," I said as he dangled in the breeze, "a codfish on a hook." "I'd get you for this, Pan. I'll get you," he snarled. If it's the last thing I do," he says. Suddenly we heard a sound that made the captain wriggle like a worm on a hook. Tick tock, tick tock. The croc was back for a snack. I almost burst my sleeves laughing. Hook tried to get away from that old lizard, but then Wendy cried, "Peter, what about Tiger Lily?" Oops, I'd forgotten all about her. The tide had come in, and she was stranded on Skull Rock up to her chin in water. Just as the water reached her ears, I swooped down and rescued her. Tiger Lily was safe. Whew. When I took Tiger Lily back to the Indian encampment, her family was so happy they held a huge feast in my honor. Everyone was invited: Wendy, Michael, John, and the Lost Boys. I got to wear a feather headdress down to my knees, and everyone called me Big Chief Flying Eagle. It was the most fun I'd had since, well, at least since that morning. But Wendy didn't think it was fun. Maybe she was just sore because she didn't get to wear a big headdress. But as soon as we got home that night, she started bossing everybody around. Michael, take off that war paint and get ready for bed, she hollered. You don't say, Simon says, I pointed out. For some reason that even made her madder. She started scrubbing the paint off Michael's face like she'd come down with a bad case of the grown-ups. Then, out of nowhere, she announced, We're going home tomorrow. For goodness sakes, boys, do you want to stay here and grow up like savages? You need a mother. What have we learned today, my friends? We learned from Tiger Lily and Peter Pan that good friends take care of each other. Have a good day, my friends. Be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more Big Daddy Storytime. God bless.